Screens presented here are an example from the Preventive Care module. The top of the patient chart screen requests a de-identified patient ID, and the first 9 of 29 questions are presented, including basic patient information and questions related to Measure 39. The dark heading indicates the measure associated with those questions. Click on the appropriate response to answer each chart question. Note that the PQRS incentive is payable just for reporting your data and meeting the quality action at least once, and does not require meeting any performance level threshold. But new for 2011, a 0% performance rate is not accepted in this program. Scroll down for additional patient chart questions. The middle of the screen asks questions 10 through 19 related to measures 48 through 113. Answer the questions as appropriate for the specified chart. Scroll down to see the remainder of the preventive patient chart questions. The bottom of the screen presents questions 20 through 29 for measures 128 through 226. The tip to the right of a question offers helpful information on how to answer the question. The tip will appear in a separate box. Click on the X in the top right to remove the tip from the screen. To cancel your input and start over for any chart, click Cancel. To delete a chart that was previously saved, click the Delete. Beware, this is a permanent delete. You will not be able to access this chart anymore after it is deleted. When complete, click Submit and Continue to Next Chart to continue entering charts. Or click Submit and Return to Chart Review if you are done with charts for now. You can click either of the Submit buttons at any time to save your answers entered so far. You should click a Submit periodically to save answers, especially if you are interrupted from chart entry and need to leave your computer idle for any reason. After clicking Submit and Return to Chart Review, you go to the Chart Review screen for a summary of all entered charts. This screen, also accessible from the dashboard by clicking Chart Entry Review, presents a list of patients entered, along with the patient ID, visit date, and Medicare indicator. A green circle next to the patient indicates a completed record, where all applicable questions have been answered. A red circle indicates an incomplete entry. The patient with a red circle will not be included in the calculations unless all questions have been answered. Click on the red dot or the patient ID to bring up the chart for that patient for editing. Note that you cannot submit your data until all patient charts have been completed. In other words, all dots are green. Click Add Patient to bring up the patient chart screen and enter data for a new chart. Click Back to Dashboard to return to the list of stages and tasks and review your status. You will notice that the dashboard changes once you have entered patient charts. The dashboard provides a review of the data entered. Clicking Recalculate will provide the latest data, including recently entered charts. Here you will review current performance calculations based on the data entered so far. You are also provided with a calculation of completed charts, those started but not complete, and those left to complete. Click on Performance and Validation in the task list under Chart Entry Review for a detailed report of patient data, performance, and validation checks on the data entered. It creates a PDF file and you will be allowed to open or save the file. This is one example of a participant validation report for the Preventive Care module. The first page presents the answers to the patient questions, listed by patient ID. Here you can verify and review the distribution of answers. Each column heading explains the coding used in the fields and the question number associated with that response. The next page presents the validation of your data. Typical chart entry and data validation issues are checked, and warnings are presented where appropriate. Under the warnings are all of the explanations of the validation checks. The final page presents current performance calculations for each measure in the module. Here you can review your progress entering patient charts and an overview of data to be submitted to CMS. At the top is some basic status information related to measures and charts. When you have completed chart entry for all of the required charts, you are ready to prepare your data for submission. If it is a measure group, then it will be after 30 unique completed patients that meet the denominator criteria. If it is a measure set, then it will be in December after you have entered 80% of your Medicare Part B patients that meet the denominator criteria. Click on Initiate Submit on the dashboard to start the process. You will be stepped through a series of screens to finalize, validate, and attest to your submission. This is mandatory before we can submit data to CMS on your behalf. This screen appears summarizing your submission information and asking you to confirm the submission by clicking Submit. This screen presents performance results, along with a comparison to your peers in all of the measures of the module. Review your information and, when satisfied, click Continue to submit your data to finalize the submission. This is the attestation agreement where you testify that data is accurate and complete prior to submission. You must also agree to cooperate with an audit of entered data if randomly selected. If you need to enter or change your TIN or NPI at this time, click on Update CMS Profile. Make any needed changes, then return to the Submit Results page via the dashboard. This page must be signed electronically, completing name and title and clicking Submit before data can be sent to CMS on your behalf. Once you click Submit on this page, you are done and your data will be packaged and sent to CMS when appropriate. Note that all data will be submitted to CMS for 2011 during February and March of 2012 when CMS accepts PQRS data submissions. The 1stAscent PQRS Registry has several major benefits to you and your practice. It presents calculations and status as you go along to see how you are doing with the measures. It provides a revenue stream of incentive payments directly to the practice if you successfully report your measures. It shows trends within your practice that can be used to correct or reinforce quality behavior. And it generates actionable insights into realistic measures that lead to improvement in care and outcomes. For more information about the NetHealth 1stAscent Physician Quality Reporting System Registry, please contact us at 610-590-2229 extension 113 or email us at info@1stAscentPQRS.com. Thank you for viewing the 1stAscent tutorial, and we hope you found it interesting and helpful.